Oh, we are live. Um, okay. I don't know if we're supposed to be live right now or if Supplement Snoop is. Where you at, Justin? I'm live right now. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. Welcome to the live cast. Austin, I believe it's time, brother.
Yes, master.
Ah, that's a little better. And 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We are live now. Oh,
There he is.
Ah, beautiful man. What's up, Justin?
What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
Man, I'm fantastic. You know, Austin went out of his way to set up the perfect lighting here. We're just ecstatic to be here with you, man. We really look forward to being able to chat with you. So how's your day going? Good,
man. I'm feeling like totally insecure, you know, when I saw all that you guys were going through to put your best foot forward. I was looking around, I was like, shit.
Listen, man, we did all this because we wanted to be seen with you. So you should feel honored. Don't feel insecure whatsoever. Speaking of the real beauty, hi, bud.
Man, that is one good looking kid right there, man.
Right. So
I'm actually trying to tone it down with this new this fluff.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm in the top 3. Barely making the top 3 in this group here.
Hush. You're top number 1.
So, you know, man, it's been, what I realized was the last time we did a live together, it's, in a way, it seems like it was just the other day, but it was like 3 months ago. Like, you guys, I don't even think you had your 1-year anniversary yet at the time.
Yeah, it has been a while, man. I know I was like super nervous to get on the last one because I didn't even know you. You know, you and I had never actually talked. And then since then, we've kind of, formed a relationship through the Supplement Snoop app and the Facebook group and stuff like that. So it has been, man. Like, time's just going so fast. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think one thing, too, that people don't appreciate is, the amount of content that you guys do, right? People you get used to watching you guys, and then unless you've done it, you don't realize the amount of hours and shit that goes into editing and stuff. Because people are always like, well, Justin, why don't you, do this and do this? I'm like, no, man, I can't. Like, I don't have time for that. Like,
it takes so much time, man. And, like, we get asked every day who we pay to edit our stuff and, like who do we outsource marketing to? We don't. So, that's a whole separate job of its own to have to go and do that, which I love doing. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it is, dude. And I think we started going more to YouTube too, to upload all of the content that we've been making. Because, dude, we've done like 500 videos in the past year.
Holy shit!
But like, if somebody just followed us last week, they're not going to see any of that.
Right.
So, any of you guys watching this, go check us out on YouTube. Plug. Anyway.
Yeah, and you know what? That's like one thing about me is like YouTube has always been, massive, but I don't spend very much time on it. It's like once we do the Instagram thing and we do our content and then I always make sure I watch you guys and like a couple other people, man, I'm like, damn, I got to go take a nap or something. Like, how can you get to YouTube too? So is there like
we have to upload on like 4 different platforms every day. If you
right. So do you that's an interesting question that I would like to hear from you guys is like, do you find that balance, right? Like, sometimes it's like, man, you end up spreading yourself too thin. I found that like when I first started doing content, things like that, I tried to cover like everything and I just started to suck at all of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I just have to rein it in, stick to what, we're good at in a shorter amount of time. And then just sort of, knock some of the other things off.
Mm-hmm. Like the jack of all trades is the master of none. I've been saying that one a lot recently, but yeah, man, like when we first I think though, when I first started making videos, when, and Austin and I did for sure, we could do everything, like we had open topics to talk about, but now as we like make more and more videos, it's like, okay, what are we going to talk about now? Like what can we constantly try to come up with? Yeah, we try not to spread ourselves too thin. That's why we have like dedicated series to certain things, you know, like TNS training tip, you know, Sup Insider, product spotlight, so we can actually have a direction to take.
You know, I don't know if you follow PJ Braun, but unfortunately for him, he just started doing a live video, and I think he's going to be like, man, where is all my followers? Like, no one's watching, because they're going to be watching us instead.
I hope so.
For sure.
I mean,
well,
him or, you know, I just got done snorting my line of Volani New pre-workout. And
yes.
So, you know, uh-oh, what is this? Jacob. Oh, what's up, Bobby? Okay, see, I've been on the content studio, man. I just haven't found out how to upload that to Instagram from there, too. I'll have to call you and talk about that, Bobby. Bobby's an awesome content creator out of Charlotte. He actually does marketing for big companies, man. He doesn't just do supplement stuff. So thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, that's good to know because, right, like I said, sometimes people say something to me and I'm like, well, I didn't know that. Or someone will be like, hey, you know, you do all these Instagram lives. Why don't you do it this way? I was like, because I didn't know that was like a thing. So,
well, you know, but we also, man, you know, we live in the best time ever to be able to just click a button and be able to do this. You know, like, this doesn't take editing, right? So this is a brilliant thing that we're able to do and actually provide value to people. But speaking of value, man, what's new in the supplement Snoop world? I mean, not to get too far off on the other end of the spectrum.
No, it's good, man. I think, you know, it's like you always have this, you know, this day to day where you're trying to provide content, you're trying to provide some sort of feedback, but always in the back of your head, you have these. That's one thing about Brady and I is we have like some big plans, like long term, right? And you just sort of have to get, you know, you have to grow towards it. And because we think, I mean, and some people, you know, kind of laugh when they hear some of my goals, but it's like, dude, if you don't shoot, like that's one thing Brady taught me, like that guy, he thinks like nothing is off limits. He's like, I will go, because if I shoot there and I end up here, then I'm still, you know, kind of. So we really want to do
10xing things, you know. I mean, if your goals don't embarrass you, then why are they your goals?
Exactly. And you know, that was always an issue I think I had, you know, previously, like in years past, is just shooting too low. You know what I mean? And being sort of afraid to push back against, you know, like just what we do. People are like, wait a minute, it's going to cost money. Like this stuff is supposed to be free. And I'm like, well, I don't agree with you. So that's not what we're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
But I think we have some big goals, but what we needed to do too was to find creating a community is the biggest thing. Cause we can't, I know I can't do everything myself. So when we find like retailers are a huge part of the equation. The customers are a huge part, the supplement companies. And if we can find a way, manufacturers, we've been meeting a lot of really good manufacturers lately too, which is like the wild card in the whole situation. Cause a lot of them are not very upfront with their information.
Yep.
But I've been meeting some really good ones lately. And if we can just tie all those pieces together and get people working towards the same goal, man, there is nothing we can't accomplish. Like, I really firmly believe that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. And I think we're, oh, what's up, John? He's our favorite collaborative customer.
I love John. John's such an awesome dude, man.
You know,
funny story about John. I don't know if he told you this or not. So John started following us a while ago. And he started asking me a lot of questions right off the bat. And I say this to a lot of people. I'm like, you know, whenever someone comes in with questions for me, I'm always willing to work with you sort of at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But I got to see where your head's at. Are you just asking for, you know, free, you know, or are you going to invest? And I remember having this moment. I remember John, and I was like, you know what, man? I remember told him, I said, either you come up with some better questions or you're getting moved into the ignore pile.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I love that kid. Like, it's just kind of funny how it works out that way, where you're just like, hey, we sort of push each other to just think a little bit harder and a little bit more. And that's what everybody does to me on a day-to-day basis. I learn so much from everyone else. It's super rewarding. So it's kind of a funny story. He's a good kid. Good kid.
Yeah, actually, I just saw him about 45 minutes ago or so, and he was like, I'm not going to be able to make the live, but I'll come on and watch it after. I'm like, so, well, I'm honestly, I'm honored, John, that you're watching this right now. Yeah. So thank you.
So when you guys, I wanted to rewind the clock a little bit to your 1 year party, because I think that to make it 1 year, is a huge. I know we all like have our goals. It's like, man, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're always thinking ahead. We're so infatuated with what do we do tomorrow. But can you just, and you made that amazing video about like that shit. Literally, dude, I was like teared up when I watched that video.
Dude,
it was
honestly,
like,
man, thank you.
It was fucking amazing.
Man, I spent 2 weeks working on that video, and we compiled every video that I've shot in the past year. So it was definitely an emotional experience for me to make, just to make that. And but yeah, you know, I mean, for a supplement store, like I don't see a year as a big deal. Like I think it's just only the beginning. But to be able to have such a strong community, and I think everybody who's watching this right now and people who follow us and the content, to be able to have that backing us and supporting us as we move forward into, you know, because I feel as if people like us, you know, Supplement Snoop, TNS, represent change in the supplement industry, like just a different wave.
Yeah.
So to have that support behind that, like it's amazing.
Well, one thing that I think you just touched on that was perfect was a lot of times what we see is a lot of people get into the supplement industry and it's like they want to hit the ground like really fast, but then say like after a year, they're starting to sort of fall off and they're scrambling, trying to think of new ways. Whereas what I see with you guys, you're hitting your 1 year on the way up, you know, and that's a goal. It's like maybe it was slower at the beginning, but that's better than starting off and then, you know, we see a lot of people just struggle at that 1 year mark where they're like, man, we're starting to run out of momentum. We're starting to run out of passion. We're starting to run. And that's when it's like, that's what separates. I feel like one of those milestones that separates people that are really into what they're doing and really have thought about it and really
And I truly believe that culture is a big difference there. Like, you know, there's stores that just open up and yeah, you can make print ads. You can make, you know, you can go and talk to people, but if you're not actually out building a culture around your brand and building a community, making connections like what we have, like ourselves in Gym Flow, like other companies that like we're friends with, and I see Austin there, so that's why. Hey, Austin, love you, man.
Shout out.
But you know, those partnerships in that community, man, is what keeps the momentum going because you have a certain expectation placed upon you.
Hello.
And Austin's up. He's running to customers when they come in. So
I mean, that's what you guys do, man. You just don't stop.
Well, I mean, and so that's I think that's a big difference, man. That, you know, it's whoa there. Let's see. What'd you say, Phil?
How great is Phil, by the way? Like,
oh man, Phil's something else, dude. I really appreciate the support, man. He called us like the other week, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I need a nut sack," and I was like, "All right, we're on it. We're on it, stat, man."
And isn't it funny that like he called me to tell me about your nut sack, and I was like, you know what, man? I'm like, man, that's what it's all about.
I'm not gonna say I'm biased, but I'd like to say we have the best nut sacks in town. So
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one to rival it.
Right.
Speaking of, I got a question for you. How is the bringing back the jean short? Well, I'm not. Maybe it never left, but how is bringing back the jean short, the cutoff jean short movement working?
You know, I did that because I wanted to.
Sure.
Now, you know, the jorts, I wasn't trying to persuade anybody. Like, I'm not like, if you want to wear them, go for it. Good luck, you know, but I wear them just because they're comfortable. And I like the suave of denim, but I don't like the heat of jeans, right?
Exactly.
So actually, that reminds me. Let me go grab something really quick. It's a visual representation of how I feel.
It's all right. I'll keep everybody entertained. What do we got going on here? Looks like
you'll pry my jorts off of my cold dead butt cheeks. So
it looks like Lex Luger.
It pretty much is.
Nice.
Oh, let's talk about the pre-workout industry.
Let's. I saw a question earlier too about making. Someone asked, would you make your own supplement line? I don't know if they were talking about you guys or us. That's an interesting question. So there, as a retailer, I don't know, does that make any sense for you guys? Like if you were to come up with your own stuff, because then does that get weird trying to sell?
Well, so from a retail standpoint and our position of being unbiased, it does, you know, it definitely does have a weird place. But I think what we're trying to do right now, and our main goal is to develop a brand, not just be a retail store. Like we've had opportunities to open up multiple locations and stuff like that, but we want to stay more collective and grow the brand. So in order to grow this as a household name,
yep,
it wouldn't be a bad idea to make our own line, as long as we can keep the parties separate.
Yeah, that's right. It's what we run into also, where it's like, man, where is that balance? But at the same time, like people ask us, like, oh, Justin, when are you going to come out with your own line? It's like, man, do you underestimate how hard it is to come up with a supplement line these days? It's easy to sort of get started, especially you can go to a certain manufacturer, you can order 144 units, but then what? Like, and we run into these people all the time. They're like, well, we don't know what to do now because we didn't make any money. So it's like, holy shit.
And, the people that run to those manufacturers really quick, those are often the people that don't have much experience in the industry. They see an easy buy-in. They see an easy grab. Oh, 144 minimum unit or like minimum order. But how are you going to like build your brand in a way that it can network and reach people and grow from there? Because you can sell through an order, but is it going to catch traction?
Right. And they ultimately, after ads and everything like that, they're like, well, I lost money. So now what do I do?
Yep.
Hey, so if Mike is offering to make it, Mike is that's a good man right there. It's a good man to know. So if you do think about
it, where does Mike work?
So Mike manufactures for like Axe and Sledge and things like that. Okay. So
yeah, we deal with them we deal with Axe and Sledge on a regular basis. So actually need to call back soon.
Good people over there.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. But yeah, I mean, as far as making our own products, there's some things in the works without getting our hands too, without getting the nutrition store too involved in an actual product line. But at the end of the day, man, you also got to understand, just us being honest, nothing that we make is going to be radically different from the most potent pre-workouts. But then again, it's all about how we brand it. So
right. I get that a lot too. I was like, do we really need me to make a formula to just pile on to the other 10,000 great products that are already out there? There's people making some good, like that person asked about, the state of the pre-workout market. The state of the pre-workout market is just, it's really saturated, but there's a lot of good products. Like people will go, Justin, can you recommend a good pre-workout? It's like, well, I can recommend like 200 of them. So
exactly. Train Hard Danny, to answer your question, in my opinion, no, that's not
near
the same. Those are totally different things.
DMAE is not. There is, honestly, for me, like people ask that all the time, especially they'll ask about DMAA and DMHA. There's really not much you can do to replicate good versions of those ingredients. You can get good stimulants.
Well, I mean, you see what we're doing right now in the industry is people are just taking the derivatives, like urea gerensis, Juglans regia, just breakaways. But DMAE, that one's, the research on that one's for what, like youthfulness, or skin elasticities.
It's a choline, maybe neurotransmission kind of thing. It's really not that I know of like a heavy central nervous system stimulant like other things. It's not very related. But like you said, Danny, you can't. You just really can't replicate a good DMHA product.
I mean,
you just can't.
If you're trying to source it, from my experience, I have very little experience, but I mean, obviously urea, reglans or juglans, and then also a lot of manufacturers are doing the isosynephrine right now. I don't know. I haven't actually had a ride with that one myself in a lot of pre-workouts. I've had like regular synephrine. But
it's strong. It's strong. It's good, but it's just not the same. Like it'll if you're looking for a strong stimulant, like if people that you're exactly right. A lot of people, what they've done is just taken DMHA out, put isopropanorepinephrine in there. You still will get a great stimulant experience, but it's not the same. And speaking of good DMHA, Jason product has good DMHA.
Jason's product is probably one of the most pure, and I'm not saying this because he's in the video. It's probably one of the most pure DMHA products we've tried.
Yeah, I would agree. When I saw the formula, I was like, okay, it's going very, towards stimulants, but he's got a good pump product to mix with it. And that was before I really got to know Jason. And I said to him, I was like, I reached out to him. I was like, dude, this, wherever you got this from, wherever your manufacturer is, did a very good job.
I told him just to keep it up and don't name names because,
right.
Whoever he's sourcing his raws from. But hey, that brings up a good question on my end. And to answer your question, Danny, it's Rogue by I Prevail Supplements.
Yep.
But that brings up a good question. Do you find that there is stimulant interactions between like we've all seen those loaded formulas, like 8 grams of citrulline, 200 DMHA, 400 caffeine.
Yeah.
Do you notice a reduction in absorption possibly for some people just from too many ingredients?
I think, and it makes sense too, because let's take the caffeine, dynamine, T-cream thing that has been sort of like beaten over our heads that they're all synergistic and, but at the same time, if they're all fighting for the same territory, how is that? Yes, it's like they're supposed to have certain, half-lives and things like that, but at the same time, you get wildly different reactions with some of those things because it's like you can only activate those receptors so much.
Well, and even when it comes to breakdown in the liver, I mean, there's only so many enzymatic secretions that go on. So that always makes me wonder because I try things like Jason's product, like Condemned Labs Convict, with the 225 DMHA. They're very minimal on the citrulline. They're very minimal on other things for blood flow. But then I go and try Defiant Unleashed by Muscle Force.
Yeah.
I don't feel the same, but technically, on paper, it's more potent. So
on paper, right. I'm glad you said that because they sent me some, and that product looks like it's going to tear you up.
Exactly.
I took it and I was like, damn, is there something wrong with me? Yeah, for sure.
So, and that that's something that's out of my scope of knowledge. I'm not a chemist by any means. So for me to sit here and talk about interactions within the body, I don't know, but that's a good question for us to figure out. But
that's why too. I don't, you've seen some of the people in the supplement Snoop group. I said to myself, I was like, well, I could either spend say 12 years, my next 12 years going and studying biochemistry and getting a PhD, but I already know people that have.
Right. Exactly.
And they're willing to help out. So I was like, hey, go ask him. I'm more in a facilitating sort of role at times. It's like, yeah, I know some things. I have a lot of experience, but if you really need specific information, man, I'll point you to someone I trust wholeheartedly. And that's always, and that's what drew me to you guys, especially too, is because, we want to be able to come across a customer, and I basically want to put them on your doorstep and say, and Steve from Natural Body just joined in a little bit ago. It's like, I know if I go to you or Steve and, and Tim over there, I could say, here you guys go. And they're good, man. They're good for the next 50 years. They're good to go, and you guys will take care of them. I think that's a huge part of connecting the dots in this industry that I know we're working on trying to streamline.
Right. So Natural Body joined. I just wanted to say, y'all are doing great things up there. I look up to you guys from South Carolina. Not to fanboy too much, but you guys are killing it. So thanks for all y'all are doing up there. But yeah, man, that's the goal. I'm a physiologist. That's my degree. That's my title. Being able to explain processes, I'm good at. But you try to get me behind those processes, the chemical balances and the interactions. Nope.
Yeah.
So we'll outsource it.
It's hard.
It is, man. It is, especially when you got so many other things to deal with.
Yeah, I know. I had a really long conversation with Gorilla Chemist a while back, and he takes a lot of shit, but he just tries to help people, and he recommended to me, he's like, well, check out this book, and if you want to talk about it, just reach out to me. He's just such an awesome guy. So I get this book and I'm reading it, and I call him on the first page, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
And he's like, it takes time.
Yeah. See you, John.
All right, John, we'll talk soon, brother.
Yes, of course.
Any TNS expansion
Bye, John.
maybe at the end of the live?
Is anybody in here?
Meredith.
Oh, what's up, Meredith? So any updates on the expansion? Well, none. I guess if you're watching this live right now, you're entitled to know because you are an insider. We have absorbed the storefront right beside us, and we are breaking down the walls currently to grow into it. Now, yeah, so and it's kind of, we're keeping it hush hush until we actually start making moves on it. But
Sure.
It is ours. We are actually we're taking leaps and bounds there. We're going to make the front portion of the store an expansion of TNS to go, which is our clean food program, where people come and grab meals that already have their macronutrients listed. They can cook it.
That's huge.
Yeah, and it's convenience for people, man. I want people to feel like they can come in and get food on their lunch break. We're in a prime area, so people come through. It's not all about this protein and buying protein bars. We want you to have good food.
Right.
So, and then that's going to lead into, hopefully a good potential smoothie bar option down the road, stuff like that. So that's the move.
That's awesome. That's because what always struck me is where I grew up, in Northwest Pennsylvania, we had tons of gyms. There was tons of active, communities and stuff. But honestly, if you wanted to get a good meal on the go, impossible, absolutely impossible.
Right.
And it's we constantly go. My wife and I, she just commented there, we travel around and there's nowhere unless you go to a big city that has adopted that sort of culture for certain people.
Yeah.
I look around, I'm I can't eat anywhere. So I'm just going to, apparently I'm fasting today because fuck all this, you know what I mean?
Right. And so that's one thing I've heard a lot, man. You go to a place where there is one supplement store and they're barely struggling to get by. And they always say, there's just no market for this. Or there's just make the market.
Amen, bro. Thank you.
Stop being the victim of your area and a bad habit in the area and create it. And that's what's so bad. I mean, how do you expect people to get more fit and get in better shape?
Right.
And that's my view on it. Just to say okay, Spartanburg County, there's no healthy food options. Oh, dude, there's just not a market.
Yeah, bullshit.
That's the best market there is.
Right.
That's unmarked territory.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes, and that's what makes it tough about some of these sort of innovative ideas and things like that you come up with is a lot of times you have to convince people why they've been asking for it, but just not sort of realizing it sometimes. But everybody wants to eat healthy and things like that, right? So you just, right. But it's not always as simple as people get that, oh, if I build it, they will come, mentality. But it's
exactly.
If you get out there and you make something quality,
yeah,
that's the type of thing that brings immediate returns to people. I think it's sad, man. We travel around all the time, and if I get hungry and I'm man, where are we getting? Can't go anywhere. I would love to see something like that. Yeah,
and that's actually speaking of moving forward, we have this one kind of project we haven't spoken on publicly. It's called the Satellite Project, and that is for us to be able to market our brand in gyms and in small areas that are not a full-fledged TNS, but offer the food, offer the quick shakes, offer the drinks and the meal replacements, all in one package. So that's something we're kind of working on too.
Well, and one thing, and I'll say this too about, it seems with you guys and with us and some of the conversations we've had, there's a lot of people that come in and they want to sort of bulldoze their way into this marketing, this, I'm going to force feed you what I want to do, where it's sometimes you have to sort of grind and build up your own reputation. And then once you do that, everything that you say carries more weight behind it rather than beating someone over the head with whatever marketing class you just took.
Right.
To say, oh, this is what we're doing and you should love us just because I can put shiny shit in your face, where it's we've sort of taken, it feels the same sort of route where we're going to build up our reputation. That way, anything we say sort of going forward, it'll already have some legitimacy behind it.
Yeah, and you and I were having this conversation the other day about people who piggyback off of followers to just in your face marketing. Hey, you follow me, so that person's going to come and follow me too, and hopefully get some validity off of it. But this industry bites back, man. you're not just going to jump in and be a big shot. Like, you've got to create something worth following. Like, just because you have some knowledge, well, whoop-de-doo, get in line. Everybody in this industry is going to have some.
That's a really good point. That because one thing I've noticed is one great thing about the fitness industry is entrepreneurship is encouraged, but at the same time, everybody's got something that they're working on. So it's like, to get people's attention and to get them to actually, it's not easy. And they exactly true. It's like a big family where it's like, you have to prove yourself. Are you worthy of sort of walking this line with us? And it's like I went through the same thing.
Yeah. It's like honestly, it is a big family, but it's a family that's closer than it should be. So we always bicker, it's like, just fighting back and forth. Like, not like industries like me and you were kind of in separate lanes, but like, let's say there's another supplement store, like, or supplement companies. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go too far down that road.
And that's why I don't want to be lumped in with reviewers and stuff like that, because that's not what we do. And it's like, once you sort of get in that category, then you just saw it the other day. It's like just one little thing, and next thing you know, it's like get the fuck out of it.
And these reviewers are popping up everywhere recently, and maybe I'm just ignorant to it. Like I haven't really followed them. I don't watch YouTube like that, like the reviewers, but most of them really don't. Well, from what I've seen, they don't really know what they're talking about. They just like the product because it was sent to them for free.
Right. And I think one thing too is, like, I always tell people this all the time. They're like, oh, reviews and this and that YouTube. I was like, honestly, if you just take a little bit of time to learn this stuff, you will never have to watch someone review a product ever again in your life. Like, you just don't need to. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What's up?
Switch out a bar for the s'mores bar.
Oh, dude, have you ever had an outright bar?
Oh yeah.
The new s'mores.
The s'mores ones are pretty good. I actually just I got some of the oatmeal raisin almond butter that just came out.
Yeah, I heard about that one. Is it pretty good?
I don't know yet. It's on its way, because when we were at Olympia, one of the I was pretty disappointed with the expo in general, but one of the nice stops that we made was over at the Ambrosia MTS sort of booth.
So you are paid off. You're in Lowblinder's pocket.
What's funny? What's funny is I've never talked to him.
I'm just playing.
I know, but here's something weird, and like this, because we're live, whatever.
Yeah.
Every time, and this is gonna sound bad. Somebody's gonna record this and they're gonna send it to him and whatever. But I don't care.
We're nobody in the grand scheme of things, so it doesn't matter.
So I get along really well with the guys from Ambrosia, Mike and Sean, and those guys. Just super good dude. Every time I'm around Mark, I look at him and I'm like, you know what? I just don't feel like going over and shaking a hand. I don't know what it is. I don't. It's nothing like personal or anything. I'm like, nah, never mind. I don't want to do it. So never actually talked to him.
It's totally okay to say that. I kind of feel the same way. I've talked to probably 100 people in the industry in the past year and a half, and they've all said similar things. But you know what? The products are great so far.
Yep.
We love the outright bar.
I heard he's really good with retailers. I heard he's very helpful with retailers.
Yeah, he's sitting down with Europa right now, which that's great.
Yeah.
But then again, it kind of when a company takes that direction, for me, it can be a beneficial thing or a really bad thing, because you go into distribution, and this is a topic I guess we haven't really talked about a lot. A company going to distribution for a retailer means, yes, it's going to be easier for us to get on a regular basis, but it also means that the gym 5 blocks away is going to get it too.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means that the convenience store up the street is going to get it, because everybody gets from distribution. The direct relationships are kind of that,
suffer a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Like, for example, I was beyond ecstatic. Black Market is now with distribution. We're extremely happy about that, because that means next day for us.
Oh, okay.
It was a week and a freaking half.
Wow.
But
I don't think I've really dealt with them too much.
Yeah. Black Market.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I had a few conversations with them, but nothing ever really materialized, and that's probably my fault, because I don't really like facilitate those relationships that much. It's like, if you want to give me information, I'm all for it. But if you want me to sort of chase you down, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, they're great guys, man. I mean, they're honestly, they're very big now, and they're all about collaboration. So
yep.
But they're huge, man. I mean, I think that's something that made them different. Not to stroke egos. We're not paid off by Black Market, but
yeah,
they took the standpoint of being a pre-workout company, not a supplement company.
You never see any of their other supplements.
Yeah, they have commodities, but you look at their branding and they're like, we're a pre-workout company,
and they do it well.
Well, what's kind of funny is like what you just said too, is I find myself doing all the time is if I say something nice about a company, I feel almost obligated to say they don't pay me to say this.
Yeah, and it's like, especially when we're online, like, it's one thing if we carry it in the store and talk to a customer, they know we're not like paid off because we sell it. But for people watching this, if I talk too highly of a company, I almost feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, we're breaking our bias rules right now.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why we wanted to come up with that supplement Snoop verification system where if I talk about NutriBio or like Earth Nutri or like Azos, some of these companies that send us their batch testing reports every time they run it, it's like that I can just point to and say, you know what? This is why I talk about them, because so it's not, oh, this is my favorite pre-workout. It's the greatest formula ever, but it's like this is something that can benefit everyone when companies are willing to go that route, which is, it's sad that many don't, but I think we're sort of seeing it, more pressure. And actually, I've had a lot of conversations with companies through DMs and stuff lately where I'm like, we want to see this happen. And I think companies realize that that's a way they can sort of set themselves apart. There's so much parity anymore. And they're like, oh, if we just are willing to share some of this information, that will ultimately make us stand out, so hopefully that's the way it works out.
Yeah. And I was, and I think that the transparency thing is starting to be on the rise a lot more so. I was watching an excellent video with Mark Glazier the other day from NutriBio, and he was talking about how the back when he first started, the transparency thing was a joke.
Yep.
The listing things on an ingredient label, fully transparent. They said it would never last, and now look at it. Every company in the industry is doing it. But here's what I'm seeing. Not many companies are doing the batch reporting like NutriBio is and those other companies.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are hopping on the transparency bandwagon and hoping that we just trust their ingredient profiles.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when it's a good start to fully disclose dosages and stuff, and that's why I said it the other day. Some of my favorite companies that I use constantly, like their owners, we're friends, and they'll send me and they'll be like, well, my product's the best. I was like, how can you say your product's the best if you don't even know 100% that that's what's in your product? Then I don't want to hear you call your product the best. Like, because how can you say so?
Well, from a sales standpoint, he knows this. If anybody calls me or comes in here and says their product's better than another or the best, oh really? Like, oh, we have fun with them too. I troll them so hard.
I speak out the back.
I'm a salesman's worst nightmare, but like what's right. My whole thing. I say it to every customer. What's right for me is not right for you, and our tolerances differ. So for you to say it's the best, well, you've got to have some high expectations there, Bucko.
Yeah, I get these.
I feel like at least 1 out of 5 people that come in are like, "What do you take?"
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be taking what I take because if I tell you what I'm taking, you're not going to want to take it.
Right.
I take non-stem pump stuff most of the time.
Right.
So
what's funny is like I get like a sick pleasure when I get like a random spam or just a message from a supplement company, and they're like, it's like a marketing thing where you use a lot of exclamation points and say how amazing their shit is, and I just read the message and I just kind of smile like the Grinch. And I'll respond to them. I was like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, because, I mean, they think they're in good spirits sending out that blast DM. But really, they're about to be in hot water, especially with companies like us, which I'll roast them alive. I don't have a problem.
Yep.
Tell you how bad your products are and then compare theirs to it.
Oh, dude. We had – all right, so we had this 70-year-old – well, I would say older gentleman – terrible salesperson, which already offends me, came in, picked up my CBD off the shelf, which is Axis Labs. We get batch reports on every single one that comes through the store. I make sure of that.
Yep.
Told me, this is bad CBD. It's actually hemp oil, and it's got palm. What did he say? The main base was whatever oil.
Well, he was talking about how yours was MCT based, and his is like ours isn't. And you're like, it says MCT right
We
there.
flipped over the label, and it's literally had MCT on it.
And like the same label ingredients and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know what it is. I think actually those are the only people that I've ever had any negative interactions with is like the sales reps. Mm-hmm. Because they get really, it's almost like a cult like mentality that they have to push so hard. So when they get like any sort of resistance, they lose their shit. They just like fall apart.
Yep.
Like,
yep. And
let's just have a normal conversation.
I think that's a sign of a very, I'd say, inexperienced salesman or saleswoman. Mm-hmm. Is the in-group, out-group mentality of our stuff's better than yours. You'll never make a sale doing that. Just anybody watching this who's in sales, you don't downplay the competitor. Don't do that. Yep. Especially to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
I've heard Tim from Natural Body Inc. say the same thing. He's like, he'll get a brand and they'll come in and say, well, ours is better than anything you got. And he's like, well, he's like, hold on, let me go get some popcorn and a chair because this is gonna be spectacular. Whatever you're about to tell me, it better be.
Oh, I love it. So and the ones that actually do get through to us, they just like Mr. Jason. Yeah, like we'll use I Prevail. Literally came out of his way to see us.
I remember
on the road trip, and just showed up and said he liked what we do. Right?
Didn't mention any products, but he broke down his and.
Yeah, he didn't pitch anything. That goes into a whole different topic.
So I've met a lot of retailers through this whole thing, and I've seen some stay very conservative with what brands they bring on. Like they'll go with the ones that have the really good systems in place, like say, Chemex and Black Magic and Steel and Core. They have a very streamlined sort of system on First Form. But it seems like you guys are maybe sort of willing to take some risks. I know some people play conservative, some are willing to, give and take. So I don't know, like what you guys is overall.
Well, so, I'd say the approach that's one part of it. Like, okay, hey, you're going to give us some free stuff to try. We're going to see. But that testing period is when we really decide if we want to actually bring it in. Like, ultimately, your product can look great. You can be nice. You can have good pricing and all that good stuff. But if it doesn't work for our customers that are on that level, we're not going to approve it, and then it's not going to be in here. Right. So, every single thing that we actually bring in is tested by not just us two, a lot of our customers that we feel would fit the description.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, sometimes it's a risk. I pulled the trigger on a few things, muscle sport. But, that, what, though, that's you live and learn.
Yeah.
Wow, see, that's how you make a sale right there.
Those are some good dudes there. Have you talked to them?
No, I haven't actually. I just, boom!
Right? Those, I like those guys. And actually, that's a pretty cool product. Like, very straightforward pump.
Yeah.
Great stacking product. Good people over there. I like those people.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk to them. Do you feel it's best to organize by type or by no branding for us? We don't do the brand thing.
The only time it'll look like it is when our proteins are stacked Synthesix and X-Pro and stuff like that. But that's the type.
So like everything in the store is categorized in terms of like potency and also
there'll be calorie count and type when it comes to proteins.
Yeah. Are you on a time schedule right now?
Me? No, I'm good.
Let's take them on a tour.
Let's do it.
Selfie mode. TNS tour time.
Jesus.
Okay.
I love it.
So we're gonna follow Austin here. All right, so we're gonna run you through the proteins first.
So can you show real quick like where the addition to the store might be? That's some insider information, but
so as we go over here to TNS to go, we have this whole section of a freezer with a microwave and our clean eats meals. This entire section of the wall will be cut out.
Wow.
We're doing a probably an 8 by 10 wall here just to walk through. You know, so
nice.
So yeah, there's
it.
Austin, and then on the back we're going to do another little opening so we can go in for back stock. But you know, Austin, give them the run through on the protein, just so Phil knows how we organize things real quick, not to take up too much time. But
yeah, Phil and I might have to make a road trip.
Hey, Mr. Justin, quiet. I'm talking.
My bad.
We all start with the isolates. This is where we point to people that are cutting, like in a severe deficit, and people who have milk allergies. We work our way up to the concentrates right here. Get a little bit more higher calorie, a little less pure in the whey. Then we got the lean blends, a little bit slower digesting, all these different sorts of wonderful goodies here that taste spectacular, but for people that are cutting as well, maybe want a good meal replacement. And then we have our favorites, the high-calorie blends.
we love
depicted. And so this looks like we're going by brand, but they just fit the type that we are referring to. So this is the best meal replacement in our opinion. They taste wonderful.
The what? The what? What was that word?
What do you want to know?
Say best. What does that mean? I don't get it.
Oh, Austin. Austin, why would you say that?
Because it's the best for me.
Gotcha.
Oh.
All right, that's
Well,
what I thought. Okay.
Caveat there. So
Woo.
well, you know, and we don't sell meal replacements here. Like we don't do that because most of the time we're gonna have to charge like $50 for 15 servings.
Yeah.
So like the way we see it, if you get a higher calorie blend, like a delicious Simple 6, mix it with some milk or have a banana with it, there you go. Boom.
There you go.
So that's kind of how we do things here. Not to make it too much of a hey, look at our store thing, but I just
Look at our pre-workouts. You don't see any brands put together.
yeah. So yeah, we'll let Austin run people through that real quick.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
Then we'll get back to it.
I can't speak on.
Austin's too excited right now. Justin, I think he showed you a pre-workout, man, that he's really excited to try, and he's
Yeah, he did, man.
Yeah, so right now I don't care about any of the other ones. I'm all focused on that one.
Yeah, I don't blame
I'll
you.
be cracked out in the morning, man. We start left to right because that's how we read here in America in potency. You know, we've got the non-stem pump only products, and then we start moving. We got about a cup of coffee here. Nothing too crazy. Might be crazy for some people, but not for us stem junkies. And then we start working up. We've got the nice clinical range here, our very well put together products sitting in the middle. And then we move up to crack cocaine level. And then here we try not to, we don't sell this to people. It's more so like, hey, if you're an ex-drug addict, this might be good for you.
There you go. I like it.
That was completely on the fly too. So thank you, Austin. That was awesome.
That was great, man. No, I love it.
I'm honored to have someone of such beauty and wittiness here in the store. But yeah. So yeah, that's how we organize things, Phil. Thanks for asking, man. Sorry to make that an extra tangent that it didn't have to be.
No, it was good. Because you guys aren't online, right?
Not yet.
Pom, pom, pom.
So yeah, that is actually part of the reason we went ahead and got that unit next door. We need back stock. We need storage. If I showed you the back area of the store right now, it would be horrendous because there's no room.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the next move. We're working on our retail site, you know, and it's not really to offer everything. You know, we're not going to offer our commodities like magnesium citrate or like any of like the main minerals and stuff. Yep. We're going to offer our main proteins and pre-workouts for now and then grow from there if we can, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's funny too because I get a lot of, you know, I talk to retailers about, okay, what's your breakdown of, say, online sales versus retail sales? And I think surprising, a lot of people would be surprised to hear those breakdowns. A lot of people actually still get more, you know, walkthrough customers than they do, you know, online sales. So it's not necessarily like people think everything is online these days, but I think the supplement industry sort of proves that's not exactly true.
Right. Well, you know, I think that it's also how you market it, you know, because as we grow online, you know, we're stuck to Spartanburg, South Carolina right now.
Yeah.
No, we can't really diversify and grow our brand further. So if let's say there is someone like yourself who lives out of the state and wants to buy TNS wear or wants to buy, you know, some of our products that we talk about on our spotlight.
Yep.
It's just an option. You know, I don't expect to bring in the percentage of income there by any means yet, but go ahead and have the tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I don't know if we missed any questions.
Yeah. Somebody said make your own weight gainer.
Phil asked for if we were going to do any takedowns.
Austin has been in his feels about a certain brand, and I think you and I talked about it already.
Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to go pull up an ingredient label real quick? We'll go back to the studio real quick.
All right.
Well, it's already on my phone.
It's on his phone. Justin, I think you know exactly what we're talking about, man.
We have a request for Alani New.
Oh, he said, "Do not speak of that in our presence."
If you say it 3 times, I don't know what happens.
Katie Earn pops up out of nowhere.
I'm going to refrain from what I was going to say.
Sorry. Okay, I'm not supposed to name names.
I love it. No, I love it. Fuck them.
All right, so we were looking at the Alani New pre-workout, and Austin got a little fired up if you saw his story.
Have you seen their sleep formula? Oh, my God. Oh, their sleep formula is the biggest pile of shit I think I've ever seen.
The only thing I feel like I can't speak on is the balance, whatever it is.
I can. Let's talk about it.
I would.
Go for it.
Through the pre-workout. That's $50. All
right, so $50 for Alani New Balance. So first of all, I'm going to preface this, and any ladies that are watching this, not to make this a gender thing. We understand that Katie Earn's a very popular figure on Instagram, on YouTube. She's beautiful. She has an awesome life.
She's no idea who she is.
She's not formulating these products. Okay? She's not. She's making money on these products. She's making a lot of money. I'm just going to put that out there. This is not about her. This is about the ingredients on a label.
Right.
So balance. This is balance. 2 grams of inositol. What are your thoughts on that one? Because I know one use for it, but
yeah, I don't know where they're gonna fit that in with say hormone balance.
Because inositol, I mean, I know that choline and inositol is very good for fatty liver disease and helping clear out potential instances where you have buildup in the liver.
Right.
And also nervous system neurotransmitter support.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to go with it. I know a lot of times you'll see it, or, like they have it paired with arginine, in nitrosogene, where it's keeps it more stable and things like that. But I don't know where. It's not that it's a bad ingredient, but I don't know why we're going with 2 grams of it in a hormone balance. I just don't. Maybe the liver. It's got to be the liver thing, I guess.
It has 150 milligrams of DIM.
And
broccoli fluoride extract for estrogen reduction, but it's not even notable.
Right, it's kind of right. It's a very weak aromatase inhibitor, and it's like, well, that's fine, I guess. Like, there's some really cool products out there that have some DIM in it, but I don't want to be relying on it.
Yeah, I miss our Aramastane, man.
Yeah. High-Tech's got that, right?
What's that?
High-Tech's got that.
Well, they got the name brand for it. I think a lot of companies are going with the 5-desoxy keto, 7-DHEA, same thing.
Right.
But then there's ALA at 100 milligrams, which.
So, ALA is a really cool ingredient, but 100 milligrams, and I guess again, what are we really? I know it's good for, say, like blood sugar and all these things, but 100 milligrams, because I like seeing ALA like in like GDA type products or things like that. But
I recommend it. I mean, we sell it on its own with black pepper extract in it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, but I recommend it to diabetics who are wanting to increase their glucose sensitivity, and then also it's a damn good antioxidant. But at 100 milligrams, I mean, here's the thing, consensus before we go off on an ingredient tangent. 4 capsules for $50 gets you 30 servings. You're spending $1.67 a day to get stuff that's not dosed properly.
Right.
At that point, I'm out.
Yeah, and it's a shame too because it sort of just ties in with their whole thing. They're like, well, if we make some pastel colors and call it balance, then women will just buy it no matter what.
And and that kind of comes down to we refuse to sell for her products here, hands down. We do not do it.
Good.
It's not because we don't want women buying products. It's because women and men, we have the same GI tract. And 9 times out of 10, women can handle stimulants better than men can. Just subjective.
Well, and I say it a lot too. There's a lot of, say, anti-stress, anti-cortisol, muscle building products that will work much better for women because of just our habits, like just men's habits. We're always pushing towards muscle protein synthesis and all these other things. So, because women have sort of shy away from because they're scared of getting bulky or whatever it is. But a lot of those products will be much more effective for women, just based on their regular habits.
And 9 times out, well, just from what I've seen, companies that specifically market to women, like for her protein or for her pre-workout that's pink on the label.
How about that Fitness pile of shit brand?
Who's that?
That Fitness, it's Muscle Farms female bullshit brand.
Well, I mean, you realize what they're doing though? They're upselling you guys on a lower potency product. I've seen women pre-workouts with 150 milligrams of caffeine with 20 servings for $50.
Yep.
Doesn't add up, but.
So I don't know. We got like 3 minutes left before Instagram kicks us off.
Right. Oh snap! So
But I mean, if you guys want to keep going, I'll come back on.
Well, I mean, just this is here.
We're definitely doing a takedown on this on the actual page at some point. So if you want to get on, we're gonna talk about that Zoom thing moving forward to where you and I can download some high quality footage over the air, and then we'll edit it and format it because you're able to download this, right? I mean, you're able to save this copy. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yep.
Because I'm going to try to download it. We're going to doll it up a little bit and make it a little bit more high quality so we can, share it other places.
Yeah. Let's we'll cut it off in an hour. We'll give them just a little bit, and then we'll have them keep coming back. That's what we do. So, and we'll come up with some different plans. We'll make sure we get this up permanently for the Facebook group. That way, people can always refer back to it as well.
Right. Well, so we're intellectual drug dealers. That's what we'll.
I like it.
we're dealing out knowledge.
I love it. Just a little bit at a time.
So I don't even think we need to go over this yet. We're gonna let it fester with the people watching it, with the 14 people watching. I don't want to get into it and get passionate where we're having a conversation and then.
Yep.
So, dude, Justin, thank you so much, man, for coming on and collaborating with us. It's obviously always a good time talking. We spent the whole hour just chatting. It's a pleasure. I'm thankful that there are people like yourself that are out there actively trying to change the industry. So
I appreciate that, man. And you guys, right, in all seriousness, I mean, we joke around and everything, but we love this is a really important thing what you guys do. And when we get more people together to do it, it really resonates with people. I've seen it. And so having you guys on board and us being on board with you, it's not, join our team. It's like, let's create something. And I mean, just nothing better than that.
Well, it's not, at the end of the day, in conclusion, it's not our team. It's the people watching this right now's team.
100%.
It's all about all of us. So, but yeah, any final words, Chitwood?
I love you.
I love you too, man.
There it is. Hey, there's a little birdie, aka USPS tracking. It told me that you have something coming tomorrow. Maybe wrong. So,
oh boy.
Much love. Have a great night. Everybody watching this, thank you guys so much.
All right.
We will be seeing you soon.
See you guys.